Testing. Okay. All right. Can everyone hear me now? Okay. All right. Give me 1 second here. I'm just having some audio issues. Sorry. 1 second again. Just having a audio issue here. All right. All right. Looks like we're working now. So let's get started here. So for today, February or April the 11th, Friday, we have the following information. All right, core PPI came in softer than expected. PPI month over month came in softer than expected. Um, Preliminary U of M consumer sentiment will come out at 10 o'clock Eastern. So will U of M inflation expectations again at 10 a.m. And then FOMC member Musalem speaks as well at 10 a.m. At 11 a.m., FOMC member Williams speaks. Now, the FOMC members' announcements are not expected to have any significant impact, but we'll see. All right, that being said, let's jump right into it and go over what we see in the market. So, first of all, looking at the NASDAQ ETF, it looks like it's going to open roughly where it closed on Thursday. Also, of course, remember we had a big jump in the markets on Wednesday off of some tariff news. But basically, we're trading around where the there was a little when you see the move up here, we start to consolidate for a bit right there, and then we went up some more. But it looks like we're just getting stuck right around this area here. Okay, so my expectation is that that's probably where we'll stick around for a while. The data that came out so far seems to have had zero impact on the market. I mean, obviously it had something of an impact, but obviously all the focus right now is on tariffs. So The consumer sentiment and inflation expectations will have a significant impact, I'm sure, but not as much as they would usually have. Okay, having said that, let's take a look at what was moving yesterday. Now, yesterday we only did one trade, or one for the program for the coaching room, and that was Moderna, and that was of course a short opportunity which we were able to take advantage of. Moderna was able to trade substantially lower, but it did not actually reach our target number two to the downside. Excuse me. Our target number two to the downside for yesterday was 23.87. Actually, sorry, it did reach that. My mistake. It did actually reach the negative target number two to the downside, and then it bottomed out at 23.70. I'm not sure why I forgot about that, but we had to get out right around here, and then later on it came down, reached the negative target number two, and went back up. But the main concern at that point was the stock was down 10% for the day, which means that the rule Reg SHO kicks in, makes it harder for a stock to go down. So there you go. All right, having said all that, let's take a look at what's moving here in the pre-market. So let me pull up my scans and see what we got. Okay, so those are loading up right now. Okay, so here's what I see so far. RX is first. That one's currently up 10.42% on about 3.7 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So it does fully qualify for a watch list, so we're going to add that to our radar for stocks this morning. The symbol is RXRX. Next up is NAOV. That is presently down 13.33% on 1.6 million shares. It's at least $1 per share, so we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list. The symbol is NAOV. Next up is let's see. Okay, next up is BGLC, which is currently up 35% on 17.3 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add that to our radar. BGLC. All right, next up is AREB, which is currently up 15% on 1.8 million shares. Is at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list, AREB. Next up is Vero, VERO, which is currently up 6% on 8.4 million shares. Is at least $1 per share as well. We'll go ahead and add that to our list, VERO. And then next up is MSPR, which is presently up 170% roughly on 40.5 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our list. The symbol is MSPR. All right, so if you folks see any other stocks meeting all four of our criteria, let me know in the chat. Four criteria are: it must be a NASDAQ listed stock, trading at least $1 per share in the current pre-market session, and it must have achieved at least a 6% price change positive or negative, and must have achieved at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume. CDT is mentioned, that is currently up 19.6% on 14 million shares. It's over $1 per share, so that definitely qualifies. So we'll add that. All right. FMTO, okay. That's currently down 8% on 21.1 million shares, but is way under $1 per share. So we can't do that one. That's trading at about 0.03. All right, so if you folks see any other stocks meeting all four criteria, let me know in the chat. Must be a NASDAQ listed stock, trading at least $1 per share in the current pre-market session, must have achieved at least a 6% price change, positive or negative, and must have achieved at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume. All right, so it looks like that's it. So we'll go ahead and wrap up for today's Pre-Market Pulse. Folks, please be sure to like the video. I see we have 3 likes, more than 3 people watching. So please be sure to hit the like button. That greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when we produce a new video. And if anyone's watching this video on a replay and you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com. That's our website. You'll see a link in the description to this video. For everyone who's part of the coaching program, I'll see you there in about 11 minutes, and we'll pick up for today's trading. All right, folks, have a great trading day, and I'll see you for the next Pre-Market Pulse. Take care.